Hello, this is your birthday reading, and this is going to be for the year from March 2019 to 2020, and it's broken down your intention, your motive, your journey ahead, and the potential outcome. Okay, and then here in the center, I have an overall spirit message and an overall chakra message. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to start with the overall spirit message, and I'm going to read it to you right now. So you have the Four of Cups, and the message is the moment has come to make a decision before what you have obtained ends up boring you and stagnating. Something is boring you and stagnating. So you have a potential to change that. And we're going to go back and forth with this card in between. And what we have here for the year, now this is an overview for the year. We have the crown chakra, which is meditation. So it's asking you to be in a somewhat meditative state during this time. And, excuse me, like I said, we'll come back and forth to this as we go through all of the readings, okay? And the reason they want you to more or less go through this when you look at this, because overall this particular card, the Four of Cups, the Four of Cups talks about doubt. The Four of Cups talks about doubt. So we don't really want you to doubt, and this is why meditation during the year or intermittently throughout the year would be very, very powerful. So like I said, we'll go back and forth between the two. And let me know what you think about this afterwards. I think I did one of these readings for you before, but I just used the chakras. But, you know, the crystals, they have the same setup. So I put them together. And tell me, so you'll let me know what you think, okay? All right. So, first card here is service. And this is your intention. This is your intention. You have intention of being of service. And when you look at this lady, she lived her whole life thinking, you know, she really didn't do anything, but she really did. She had a great family. You know, it was how she viewed it. So the message here is I attract to you whatever you desire if you give up your desire. So sometimes it's like how you focus on things too much. And once you stop, it's like looking for your keys and they're right in your face, but you decide not to look for them and then you find them. So how does the idea of service inspire you? This is more about compassion, loyalty, strength. And it indicates a steadfast ability to stay the course emotionally. And this is the emotional chakra. This is like, how do you feel? This is all emotion. And, you know, how you feel is your boundaries, your attachments, letting go, pleasure, beginning, endings, warmth, intimacy, emotions. What is it that you would feel emotional about? But this is your intention. Your intent is to be of service. Now, how do you view service? Maybe it's really a matter of perspective. And when I pull the crystal, and the crystal also is intention. And I have the Brandenburg Amethyst. And this is your perfect blueprint. And you are perfect exactly the way you are. And this activates all the chakras, even the chakras, the 6 go under the earth and the ones that go over your head. This is the master healer. It holds the perfect blueprint of your soul and all that it is. It heals physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, karmic, planetary, and ancestral layers, and imprints the most perfect energetic patterns possible. So that you want to be of service, but maybe that's your perspective of what is service, or how do I give service. But you have the perfect blueprint. And then going back to this 4 of Cups, you don't want to be bored, but the key words here is finding, is it doubt or inspiration? And this is probably why meditation during the course of the year would be very important, because this is your intention. We're starting with your intention, but the message here is whatever is your intention. You don't want to become doubtful, you want to be inspired. You see how he's like sitting there like, don't just sit there like that. That would be that time. See how she's sitting in that meditative state and that light is all around her? Because it's very, it's not, well, in a sense, you know, to be of service is a magnificent thing. And to be of service also, you know, it indicates love of life and no longer trying to prove your value to others. You don't have to prove, when you're just being of service, this is like pure light. You don't have to prove your value. And you don't have to prove your value because mainly you have the perfect blueprint that Spirit has provided. And this activates all the chakras, not just this emotional chakra. This is the 2nd chakra. So here we're talking about eating oranges and things like that and drinking a lot of good clean water, because this is your urinary tract and things like that. So the 2nd position here is your motive and what may be keeping you back. Now the motive I see here is that root chakra. That root chakra here says soulmate. This is your motive, your soulmate. Now, the soulmate, this indicates change in communication patterns. For one, you no longer be able to converse that doesn't sustain you. So it's like, you know, sitting around talking about nothing. You know, that's not what sustains you at this particular time. But really, what is soulmate? It's a time to face your true feelings. So there's some true feelings maybe that you need to get in touch with. And is that maybe why you are feeling in doubt instead of, or in the inspiration? Because they can go intertwined here, and being mindful of being in a meditative state. Now this isn't broken down in quarters. This is like an overall hue of the year to come. So your motive here is to face your feelings here. You want to be of service, but you have to face your feelings. Now this is that root chakra. This is like what you need to feel secure, sexuality and all that kind of stuff. So speaking your truth and choosing love, freedom through transformation, resistance, and communication. Now, it says soulmate, but soulmate does not necessarily mean soulmate. This could be your relationship with yourself. Just the question to ask is, what truth are you willing to embrace? This means you can't live a lie. And in the crystals, this position is what may be holding you back. And we have the chrysocolla. What may be holding you back from this position? Now, this is your motive, but what may be holding you back? It's the self-love. Isn't that interesting? It says self-love. And a lot of this is perspective. Self-love. This is tranquil and sustaining. It encourages you to remain serene and strong during change or challenge, dissolving destructive emotional programming, increases energy and assimilation. So that's where that meditation comes in. And that's when also that to the meditation so you could feel inspired. You have infinite capacity for forgiveness. Love yourself. If you cannot accept yourself, you cannot give love or accept the love of others. To heal your emotional black hole, connect to the universal love that is inside of you. It never runs out. You can then give love to the world and receive it, a never-ending flow. And this is where that meditation is coming in. And it says here also, bitterness and self-doubt have no place in well-being. It is good to nourish your body with self-love and forgiveness. And so that comes up with that doubt. So maybe there's something you're doubting yourself this year that may come up. And this particular crystal is earthy. It's the earth crystal, and it cleanses and activates all the chakras, which is interesting. So we look at this soulmate. It's time to face your truth and self-love. So this soulmate is like really, your motive here is your soulmate. So maybe it's your relationship with yourself. And what may be holding you back is this particular self-love. Now, now just thinking about it, I think that's a word people say. But since you are of service, I guess it's when you think about it, you can be of service, but how much service? All things are relative. So, with that, the next position is the journey ahead. Now, you see the journey ahead here is the heart chakra. And can you see that? The heart chakra. And it says trickery. Now, can you see? Okay. Manipulation. Trickery. You think of trickery, you think of manipulation. So maybe there's some manipulation because of fear of being rejected. There's no evil intent, only a deep desire to be loved. So this could indicate that you should practice asking your true heart's desire rather than fearing resentment. So it's like speaking up what you want. Yeah, you want to be of service. You have the perfect blueprint. You want that soulmate. But sometimes maybe it's just asking for really what you want. And sometimes that soulmate, self-love are words that people say. And sometimes these are the relationships with yourself and not always other people. I'm just putting that out there. But this is the tempter is guilty as the thief. So the question to ask is, am I afraid to tell my truth? During trying times, things may be easier if you ask for help. Don't be disappointed if assistance doesn't come from the place you expect. And I think everyone has experienced that at sometimes. You think the person's going to help you, and it comes from someone you have no idea of who they are. So this is really kind of thinks of scarcity or collecting possessions and having a vulnerable heart. So it's about being self-honest or accusing others of hidden motives. Now, this is the journey ahead. You think of like, is it going to be a manipulating task or a manipulating journey? And then we have what is this? The Priscilla, I believe I'm pronouncing this right. The Priscilla Bluestone. And this is the inner compass. So think about this with that year, with the meditation and feeling inspired. It's about keeping yourself centered, so that you're not manipulated. That's how I'm looking at this, because you have a strong inner compass here. This, the Priscilla Bluestone is planting healing energies from the land of the ancestors into sacred healing landscape. This stone accesses past, present, and future, isn't it? So be true to yourself is the basis of well-being, and spiritually and physically. And this is the earth star. So as soon as they said ancestor, you know this is earth and grounded. You are basically, you have the wisdom of an ancient shaman, and you can impart that wisdom on this journey through multiple dimensions in search of healing. You have unshakable core, stability, and inner compass that directs you with integrity. I think that's beautiful. Because of your inner compass, you don't really have to worry so much about the trickery or manipulation unless you're doing it. But this is also the heart chakra. So this is opening your heart and understanding if you're being manipulated because you're being guided by that inner compass. And so this is why that meditation will be very relevant throughout the course of the year. And then maybe this is why sometimes you may have doubts during the course of the year, because people, you have, that's all I'll say, people, we'll leave it at that. But this is also that heart chakra, so you definitely want to make sure that you're getting your vegetables and things like that, and breathing, some type of breathing exercises. This is coming up kind of interesting. So this was the journey ahead, and this would be the action required. So next here, we have the outcome. The potential outcome. The potential outcome we have here is, expansion. So no matter how you feel about being of service, what is your soul status, but here you have expansion. This is the outcome, expansion. You'll see it when you believe it. So right here, how can you create powerful alliances or new people entering your life? So seeking good advice is vital when you're pushing into new territory. And stay away from anyone who is critical of your dreams. This possibly could maybe changing some friends, because you know what your dreams are, you know what your focus is. And so you want to if you're going to get advice, make sure you get it from the proper person. Let me take a sip here, just a minute. Okay, excuse me. Now this is your throat chakra. And here, this is pretty much saying that, let me get one more sip. Okay. This is the throat chakra. Okay. So maybe what you're communicating, you may have to be mindful of who you're communicating it with. But nevertheless, it's like these people here, it's like they're seeking wise counsel, but they went to the sky god. You see the sky god here? This is like spirit. But what I think is interesting, you see how it's like, it almost looks like blowing a breath You know, because this is the throat chakra. So the spirit is coming through. And what's interesting, because you had that perfect blueprint, you, and if you meditate and don't focus on the doubt, focus more on what inspires you, this is when you have the expansion. This is pretty good. I like this. I really do. Now, with the expansion though, we're looking at life changing as you move away from old way of relating to others. New people are entering your life. Relationships may no longer work. You need to reach out to those who are on the same vibration or the same frequency of your, and personally uplift you. So call on your higher companions to advise you at this time. So you can't, that kind of makes sense when you look at everything as a whole. You want to be of service, or maybe this is your life. You are of service, okay? And that Brandenburg amethyst, you have the perfect blueprint here, and you have the perfect inner compass here. So your whole life is being guided, or this whole year is definitely being guided. And this is, when I'm looking at this now, looking at all the cards, coming back to the center, the meditation, that's to keep you within the light, to keep you focused, to keep you that compass in the proper direction. And even though, you know, you have this, you may feel doubt, it may be some insecurity, but there's also inspiration and some hesitation. So it's like some of the ups and downs, reevaluating things. But then the ultimate outcome here I have is synergy, the quantum quattro. And this has amazing healing power and a dramatic effect on physical vitality. It brings about an energetic shift in integration. You're extremely complex person who seeks wholeness within yourself. Examine all facets of your personality, especially those you hide from yourself or others. That goes back to that soulmate. Some of this is like it's an inside journey. So it also, that you hide from yourself and others, accept those of value, find the gift hidden deep within mistakes, forgive and let go, release yourself from codependencies and abusive relationships, heal the inner child, recognize the resources you have to draw upon. And this energizes all the chakras. So, which is interesting, because once it comes full circle here, you have if you're really meditating intermittently, like all through the year, you have that synergy and that expansion. And when I think about this too, this is also basically saying, don't let hit to your self-confidence spoil the pleasures life has to offer. Open your heart, realize you are valuable and special, and an excellent opportunity is right in front of you, but you're letting insecurity or unworthiness get in the way of growth. You have the support you need to grow. So that kind of goes back to, you don't want to be, I don't think it's really a matter of being bored, as it said here. The moment has come to make a decision before what you have obtained ends up boring you and stagnation. So is it really that you're bored, or you're in a position to expand with that synergy, and you're doubting yourself? That's something only you can answer. I'm just giving you the message. Well, I kind of like this. Well, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think. All right? Happy birthday.